These are my player ratings for Sheffield United 3, Oxford 1. So it's the morning after the game, and of course, as always, got my player ratings to share with you. It was quite a dull game, there was some brilliant performance, some not so brilliant. Just before I get into this video, if you enjoy this sort of content, leave this video a like, drop me a follow. As you can see, this is the starting 11, these are the subs, let's just get straight into it. Starting off with Michael Cooper, it may be harsh, but I'm going for a 4. My logic with the 4 is he had one thing to do, one save to make, it wasn't even that uncomfortable of a save. But by spilling the ball, it's a massive mistake to give Miles Harris that first goal for Oxford. Other than that, Oxford weren't too friendly, he didn't have too much to do, but I think that's still a massive mistake and the team massively bailed him out. For Sariki, I've gone for a 7, another there and thereabout performance. The level he's playing at the moment is a 7 or above, and I think last night was a good example of that. He didn't necessarily stand out last night, but he was decent down that right hand side, causing a bit of a threat. As a whole, the defence was quite solid, it was just that one goal unfortunately that Cooper cost us. For Tanganga, I've gone for a 7 for a similar reason. Obviously, Oxford didn't cause us too much threat, so the defenders didn't need to stand out. Tanganga didn't do too much wrong, he was alright, he was solid in that defence, but I don't think he did much more to be fair to him more than a 7. For Bindon, I've gone for an 8, I thought it was slightly better than Tanganga, and once again another brilliant performance by him. He's growing into his team game by game. You can see in the way he plays, he's getting more confident, being more dominant in that defence, and it's a real shock story considering the amount of stick he got at the start of the season. For Burrows, I've gone for a 7, I think he was solid last night, one of his best performances this season. He dealt with the threat well, down his side, of course he got the assist for the first goal, and overall he didn't stand out too much, but he was showing glimpses of what he can do last season, so I think a 7 for him is pretty fair. For Peck, I've gone for a 7, but that is boosted a bit because of his goal. Obviously I'll touch on the whole midfield in a second, but I thought Peck was alright tonight, nothing more. He didn't necessarily stand out above the others, but he got his goal, he took it well, so I think a 7 is about fair. For Arblaster, I've gone for a 5, I thought he looked a bit better, but still a bit off it. He just looks a bit slow at times, but that's to be expected with his injury. I suppose once you've been injured once with a big injury like that, you've got that fear of getting injured again, so you don't play to your full potential. I think with Arblaster, it always looks like he's holding back a bit, so I think you need to let that trigger go. But with the additions of Phillips and Rothwell, I think Wilder can manage his minutes more. For Brooks, I've gone for an 8, I thought it was quality last night. Another goal to add to his tally, 3-3 now. And that turn and finish, he took it so well, especially considering he was injured. Literally 20 seconds before the goal, he pulled up, he felt something wrong with him, but then he carried on, he scored that goal, and then he went off. And overall, it was a brilliant performance once again by him. For Callum Moore, I've gone for a 6. I thought he was quite quiet tonight, to be fair. He wasn't awful tonight, but he didn't pose as much threat as I thought he could have done. And he came off in about the 60th minute, which is rare for him, so I'll give him a 6. For Harmer, I've gone for an 8. He was absolute quality last night alongside Brooks. I mean, that pass for the third goal was just so good. He got 4 assists in 3 games now, which is just brilliant form. And he's definitely getting back to his best now, so that's why I've given him an 8. For Cannon, I've gone for a 6 last night. I think the service to him was quite poor at times. I thought he played alright, he was making some brilliant runs. Of course, he got the assist for the second goal. And it felt like a lot of the times he was making runs and just didn't get noticed. I think you could see the effort was there, but no end product really, so I'm going for a 6. For the bench, I've gone for Samare 5, Ogbene 7, and the rest 6. I mean, when Samare came onto the pitch, it always looks like he's chasing his first touch, it just isn't good enough. I thought Campbell, Chong and Yelde were decent off the bench, they didn't do too much, but nothing bad either. But of course, Ogbene finished the game off at 3-1 and got into decent position for the Harmer pass. And overall, I think it was the best substitute last night.